What's up guys, I'm back and behind me is not Scarlett, rather behind me is the 2019 Mazda MX5 RF Club Edition for the Philippine market, and I'm here. We're going to do a little bit of a review about her. I'm going to show you all the features, what's new about the RF, the 2019 RF, and we're going to take her out for a short drive just to see how she feels on the road. Let's go guys. Now, when the 2019 Mazda MX5 RF Club Edition debuted in October of 2018 here in Manila, I was blown away, guys. I mean, this car has all the goodies that you'd want to have in an MX5. Now, I was able to borrow her for today from Mazda Philippines, so thank you so much to Mazda Philippines for letting me take this very nice car out for a nice drive and for this review today. The difference with this review versus the other car reviews on this car is this is going to be from the perspective of a Mazda MX5 owner himself, because as you guys all know, I've owned Scarlett, my MX5 ND. It's an ND1, it's a 2018 ND for a year now, and with this review, I'll be able to compare how Scarlett feels versus the 2019. And I'm going to answer several questions that a lot of viewers are asking. Like for example, if you have the ND1, the first generation ND, which spans from 2015 to around 2018, is it worth the upgrade to go up to 2019? And it also answers several other questions, like if you should go for a soft top or a hard top like the RF, and how does it feel to drive the automatic MX5 versus the manual MX5, because you all know that Scarlett is a manual. This RF Club Edition only comes in automatic here in the Philippines, and we'll answer all those questions today. But before that, before I answer these questions, I'm going to show you some of the new features of the 2019 MX5 RF Club Edition that is just for the Philippine market. I know that there are Club Editions also in the US and also in Europe and in other markets, but for the Philippines, it is the first time that Mazda Philippines brought into the country a Club Edition like this. So it is a pretty special model. Let's find out some of the features that they added to this car. First and foremost in this car is all 2019 models of the MX5 get an additional 26 horsepower for their engines. So this is not exclusive to the 2019 RF Club Edition. This is across all models of the MX5 starting 2019. The engine gets an additional 26 horsepower, which is up to 181 horsepower already, coming from 155 horsepower from the previous ND1 generation. Next, all of the 2019 models, and it's not exclusive to the RF Club Edition, has this 2019 mandated backup camera that can be found in the middle of the bumper. Now, as you know from my previous video, I had this backup camera installed also for Scarlett, but instead of being placed here, it's placed right near the plate where it's hidden. Now, everybody's been dissing the rear camera placement on the 2019s, but I have to say the software and the camera that they use is way different from the one I installed in my Scarlett. If I put this on reverse, as you can see there, so I also have the please check surroundings for safety. I also have the guidelines, but I don't have this. This is the parking sensor, which tells me just how close I am to an obstacle at the back. Next we have here, this is an exclusive feature to all RF Club Editions only. This is the BBS rims, the special edition for club rims that can only be found in the 2019 RF Club Edition here in the Philippines. You can see it's a beautiful set. These rims really go well with the car, and I know that in the other markets they've had this for several years now, for a couple of years now, but here in the Philippines it's the first time they brought this in, and they really look good on the car. And the fitment is also spot on. It's really nice. Another quirk that most people won't really notice unless you're really a Mazda MX-5 fan is that these BBS wheels, they come with a different type of tire air valve covers. You can see it's all made in metal, and I don't know if you could make it out, but you will see that there is the logo of BBS that can be found there. Attention to detail, I believe so. This is Mazda after all. Now I know that there's been a ton of YouTube videos online that would show how the retractable fastback of the RF would work, but there's never been one on my channel, so I'm gonna show you guys how this works. Now there's a button right here that you can just push up, and when you push it up, it will activate the automated retractable fastback roof, and it takes around 13 seconds to do. Let's time it. And there you have it. Once you hear the beep, that means that the operation has been finished and the roof is already out of the way. Now, to reverse the procedure, all you have to do is just switch this downwards. And when you switch this downwards, it will just put the roof back up like this. That's a pretty fancy way of putting the roof up and down, unlike for my soft top, which you just have to use your hand, and it attracts a lot of attention whenever it does that, guys. Another major change that has happened in the 2019 MX5 models, and it's not exclusive to the Club RF edition, is the addition of a telescopic steering wheel. Now the previous generation, the ND1 that came out, only had a tilting wheel, so it only tilts up and down. But for this 2019 model, you could already slide it forward a little bit, which should help some drivers, some tall drivers, to have a more comfortable driving position. It doesn't really affect me that much because my build is medium Asian build. I have a funny feeling that Mazda Japan designed the MX5 for people like me, for my height and my build, because it just fits me like a glove. But this is a welcome addition for those people who want to have, you know, a more adjustment in their driving position. Another change for the 2019 Mazda MX-5 RF Club Edition is that this LED panel now is fully colored. I don't know if you could see it, but there's color blue and red. And it's also a full screen instead of like a half screen that I have in my 2018 MX-5 ND. The RF Club Edition also comes with adaptive headlights, and I guess this means that if you turn your steering wheel, your headlights would also look the way your steering wheel is going. I do believe this is just an exclusive feature that can be found in the RF Club Edition, and it can't be found in the other 2019 models. Hell, for sure, Scarlett doesn't have that quirk, but it's found here in the 2019 RF Club Edition here in the Philippines. Another addition to the Philippine MX-5 RF Club Edition is the addition of these added controls. Of course, you have the off button for the I-stop, and then you have here the stability control, but it also came with this extra button right here, which is a lane departure warning button. Basically, it just gives you a little bit of a warning just in case you are getting out of your lane. Now you could also turn this off, as you can see in the button there, but it is a nice added safety feature that they've given to the Club RF edition in the Philippines. Now, arguably the most compelling reason why you should buy the MX-5 RF in Club Edition here in the Philippines are these super awesome, insanely nice Recaro seats. Now these seats, as you can see, are trimmed in leather with red piping, and you can see that the center of the seats are made of Alcantara, and I love how it holds my body very well. Now as you can see, I'm a medium-sized build, I'm an Asian build, and this hugs my body perfectly. And this is the biggest difference I could see between the stock MX5 RF or even the ND with its leather seats or even in Scarlett's cloth seats versus this Recaro seats, because these seats have a lot more bolstering on the sides, and I could feel that it would really support me very well whenever I take turns and corners on a more aggressive note. Now as you could also see here, these Recaro seats are special because they also have built-in Bose headrest speakers on both seats. Now this is something that I don't think you could buy from the aftermarket when you purchase a set of Recaro racing seats, because these are probably made just for Mazda, for the MX5, because when you have the top down and you take a call in, or if you're playing some music, not like you want to play music while you're having fun in this car, but the good thing about these headrest speakers is that you could listen and hear clearly the person who is calling you even while you're driving in the freeway. So these Bose headrest speakers that can be found on these Recaro seats by themselves make these Recaro seats extremely special and only made for the MX5. Now for some negatives about this Club Edition RF. If you notice something here in the wheel, I'm in the front wheel right now, and as you can see that the brake calipers are just a normal silver color. That means that this package did not come with the Brembo front brake package that can be found in Club Editions in other markets. Probably the reason why Mazda Philippines did this is to keep the cost reasonable. Problem with the Brembos is these things aren't really cheap, guys, and if they added the Brembo package to the Club Edition RF, then it would have taken the price out to a level that not a lot of people would find very appealing. The good thing about the MX5 though is that even with the stock brakes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for a car, but if you would like to take it out to more aggressive driving and take it out to the track, then I would recommend that you just change the brake pads to something that is more suitable for the track, and you're good to go. Another negative that I noticed with this is the Club Edition RF did not come with a Bilstein Sport shocks that the other markets have with their Club Edition RFs and NDs. Now probably another reason for this is Mazda Philippines really wanted to keep the cost down, just make sure that it would still be appealing to its target market, and there would be some people who would continue to buy the car. Because, well, if you add the Bilsteins and if you add the Brembo package, then you're looking at a really big jump in price. And it's not like it's something that can't be solved by the aftermarket if you're into that kind of thing. Unfortunately, even if this is a Club Edition, it doesn't also come with a stock strut bar, front strut bar, you can see there, but it's an easy mod to add if you would like to add these front strut braces. Now that I've taken you around the car and I've shown you what this Club Edition benefits and features and what added stuff they've put in on top of a regular RF, it's time to take her out for a drive. And on this drive, we're going to get a feel of what are the changes that Mazda did for the 2019 model versus the 2018 model, which I have, which is my Scarlett, my soft top ND. We're going to make some comparisons and see what they did right, what they could improve on, and we're also going to answer the question, should you get a manual MX5 or an automatic MX5, which is what this RF is. Let's go for that right now, guys. Okay, now we're gonna go for our driving impressions of the car. Well, in this drive, I'm going to answer those burning questions that I've said at the start of the video, like, is it okay to get an automatic MX5 or should you get a manual MX5? And we'll see how that additional 26 horsepower would figure out in this car. So as you can see, I'm driving in an automatic RF and I'm gonna go on sport mode, which should improve my throttle response. Yeah, it has a little bit of kick already in sport mode, although I'm not using the paddle shifters. Feels more responsive even if it's an automatic. Well, I'm going through a little bit of a bumpy road right now, and I could notice that the ride is no longer as soft as a stock 2018 ND. It seems that for this model, they were able to dial in the suspension better, made it a little bit stiffer. Okay, another noticeable difference is the exhaust note. The exhaust note of this 2019 sounds a little bit more aggressive than the 2018. Yeah, definitely the exhaust note is a little bit more aggressive than the previous year. That's one of the things, the quirks that I had to, improve on my Scarlett, which was to change the muffler because the exhaust was really quiet. But this one has a little bit more aggressive tone to it. So there you have it, guys. This is the 2019 Mazda MX5 RF Club Edition that's being sold here in the Philippines. Now you're gonna ask me how much is the price for this car. Well, the introductory price for this Club Edition is 2,680,000 pesos. That's a little bit of dough, a little bit more money than you would pay for a regular RF. But for that added amount, you would get these nice BBS wheels right here, and you would get these nice Recaro sport seats at my back, and also you get the other safety features like lane departure warning, adaptive LED headlights, and some cool quirks like the metal air valve cover. Anyway, who is this car for? Well, as we all know, people who buy RFs are those who would rather have an open top experience some of the time, but most of the time would spend their time driving with the top up. This MX5 RF Club Edition are for people who would want to buy an MX5 and would rather keep it stock, keep it pristine. They don't want to modify it, they don't want to add more aftermarket parts to it, because why would you have to change these nice BBS rims, right? And you don't even have to purchase racing seats or sports seats because you're already on Recaros. So this is for those types of people who would want to have a keeper MX5 that they don't need to touch. It's all set and it's all perfect coming out of the factory. That's the type of person who would buy this 2019 MX5 RF Club Edition. Anyway, guys, I hope you like my videos. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and like this video as well. I hope to see you again next time, guys. Bye-bye.